Howdy folks, Andy Gamer Muzzer here, and obviously doesn't take many guesses to know that we're on Elite Dangerous, and tonight is Law 2 and I with Drew Wagar. We're just waiting on Drew coming on. He'll be doing the obligatory clap for key workers, and as we speak, there's his stream firing up. So we'll just use it as a bit of background music. So tonight we're covering Thargoids. That's what we're covering, and should be a very interesting night as we're covering Thargoids. I'm not sure where we're going to be heading to. But I dare say we'll be going to wherever some of the main Thargoids battle took place in the past and the present. So it should be an interesting one, to say the least. We're in Schneider Relay in Epsilon, Indi, the home of Meteorand Hollow, which has a very well, Meteorand Hollow is a very fast orbiting moon. Orbits an Earth-like, and it doesn't take long. Just a couple of minutes to do a full orbit. And if you've never been, I suggest you pay to visit, because it's great for things like eclipses, because you get to see multiple ones in such a short space of time. Word of advice: don't chase the moon, let it come to you, because you'll never catch it by chasing it. So that's where we are currently. There it is, Meteorand Hollow orbiting New Africa. And system map. That's Meteorand Hollow. As stated, very fast orbit. Does it have the speed of the orbit? I can't remember if it does. Yeah, 0.1 day. That's not actually the orbit, is it? That's rotational period. It could be, yeah, it will be.
And good evening, Commanders. Welcome to Thursday evening. It's 8 PM here in the UK, and lovely to see you all. Thank you all much for joining in on the chat. And yes, the hat is here. The hat will never go away. The hat is part of the outfit. Absolute pleasure to be here once again for Thursday evening Elite Dangerous Law Tour 2020. So we are here to talk about the Thargoids. Dun, dun, dun. I'm quite looking forward to this one. This one's going to be fun. Now we're going to have to get a shift on this evening, because we've got quite a lot of places to go, and some of them are at a reasonable distance. So we've got quite a few places to get through. So I hope your ship is ready, Commanders.
I'm ready.
So I'm going to get my ship outside the space station, and then we'll see who's in my instance, see how it works this week. And we'll do the best we can to get as many people in the same instance as we go along. So I've got someone has jumped in with a wing request for me already. Ren Solson, you got lucky this time round. Fantastic. So but we need to take a bit of a tour. We've got some places to see, some places to go. Okay, so I'm going to get my Asp in gear. Cobra, obviously. The old jokes are the best ones, right? And get my ship up. Right. Let's get the ship into space. So how are we all? I have literally just finished the NHS Key Workers clap. We always go and do that here in the UK. Lockdown is slowly easing in the UK. I don't know how it is in other countries. Whether or not that's a good thing remains to be seen. We're still jury's out on that, I think. Really, I can see a lot of ships. This is always good. I always like this bit. So loads and loads of ships out here. Right, fantastic. Okay, so we are here. For those of you who don't know, we are in the Epsilon Indi system, or Epsilon. Epsilon. Epsilon Indi anyway. It begins with EP, and we are here at Schneider Relay, which is a space station in the system. Now, there's a really good reason why we're here, which may not be immediately obvious. Now, there is a point of interest that many of you will know about, I'm sure. If you haven't, can I just direct your attention to this? Let me just show you. If you haven't been there, go to Meteorand Hollow at some point. Don't do it now because we haven't got time, right? But go to Meteorand Hollow. There's fun and games there, okay? For those of you who know about that, don't spoil the surprise. But for those of you, after the lore tour's done, go and have a look at Meteorand Hollow, okay? It's cool. So that's all I'm going to say about it. We have been there before on this stream, but for those of you who know, keep stum. For those of you who don't know, it's worth a visit. That's all I would say. Okay, it's all I would say. So that's a good place. No spoilers though. No spoilers, please, in the chat for that one. For those who haven't been there. But why are we at Meteorand Hollow? Why are we here? Why are we here in the Epsilon Indi system? Well, this is a bit of a mystery. This is where the mystery of the Thargoid starts. Believe it or not. And you may not be aware of this. This is something I dug out today in the last week or so about the Thargoids that I didn't actually know. So in the course of my research, I have discovered something quite interesting. Now let me explain why. Because in the lore, in Elite Dangerous, there are two conflicting origin stories of the Thargoids in game. And we're trying to use in-game sources wherever possible in order to work this out, because that's the closest we can get to the truth. Whatever the truth actually is, what's in-game trumps anything else. Okay, so there is the previous games, but Elite Dangerous is canon. Previous games are sort of canon. The official books are sort of canon, and then there's sort of lesser canon that's sort of floating around outside that. And we're trying to sift and try and balance this stuff up. Now, why am I saying all this? Let me explain. Here is the Galnet entry about the Thargoids from quite a long time ago now, 4 years ago. So let me put that just on the space where we can all read it. Okay, Galactic News of Thargoids. Okay, so this is in-game, this is Galnet from 4 years ago. And it says, accounts of Thargoid encounters are shrouded in so much ambiguity. Okay, it's hard to accept them as proof. Okay, so this is, remember, before the Thargoids turned up in-game. This is somebody in the Elite Universe speculating about the origins of the Thargoids. Okay, and this person, I'm not sure if Seema Kalhana is a man or a woman. Not that it really matters, but I'm just interested in knowing. But anyway, Seema Kalhana says the first reported Thargoid encounters date from 3125, when accounts surfaced that pilots had been pulled from witch space and attacked by mysterious octagonal starships. Witnesses asserted that the strange vessels were exceptionally fast and remarkably maneuverable. Okay, cool. Pilots who survived these experiences were convinced they had encountered extraterrestrials and named the aliens Thargoids. So there's the story. Now, what's good about this is 3125. If you've been following the lore tour, you will know, hang on a minute, that date sounds vaguely familiar. And it is actually the date of the original Elite game. 3125. And as chance would have it, I have the original Elite game here. And I've got a little, because I know this game inside out, I can show you this very moment in history. This is what's cool about going back with the original games. I can show you this. So let me just pop this up on my screen because you can see it. I've lost it. I've got so many windows open here. There we go. I've got it. Right. So I'm going to put, this is the Spectrum, the ZX Spectrum version of Elite. I'm going to put it into a cheat mode. Okay. I'm going to put it into a cheat mode. I'm going to launch from the space station where I currently am. This is the year 3125 in the Elite timeline. You can see the graphics aren't quite so good. I'm going to slow the ship down and I'm going to pause the game. I've now paused the game. I'm going to enable a cheat mode. You should hear a little noise. Okay? Cheat mode is now enabled in the Spectrum. Now what this does is it allows me to make every single hyperspace jump a miss jump. And when you miss jump on the Spectrum version, guess who's waiting for you at the other end? This is the encounter that the historical record in Galnet is talking about there. So I'm going to do my best to survive on my lonesome, for your benefit on the stream, a deliberate encounter with the Thargoids in the year 3125. So here we go. In order to do it, I select a hyperspace system. I engage hyperspace. Oh no, I want galactic hyperspace. What's it doing? I think I pressed... I must have pressed 2 keys at the same time. Oops. I may have to do that again. Yes, I will. I broke it. Hang on a minute. Let me go back and do that again. The 2 keys are really, really close together. Right, hang on a minute. Let me do that again. You can tell this is live, you see. Press the wrong buttons. Right, launch again. From the space station. Let me try this again. I didn't want galactic hyperspace. That's another whole thing. Right, that's coordinates are set. Pause the game. Enable cheat. Restart the game. And this time I just want a normal hyperspace jump. Good. Right, this should be a Thargoid encounter. Will I survive? Yes, right. Now I've got to attack and destroy the Thargoids. So this is what happened. You were ambushed in space. There's one down. Yes. 50 credits. Let's get the other one over here. You can see the frame rate is quite astonishing. I'm already in trouble. And my laser's overheated. I've got to keep this guy in the crosshairs. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 2 Thargoids down. Right, where's the other one? There it is. Come on. Ah, it's almost got me. And that's what happens, okay? I was not one of the survivors. I was not one of the survivors. I was hoping I was going to win that. Sometimes I do. It's really tough to kill those guys. There we go. So that was occasionally a little kind of bit of endgame content for these original versions of the game, but it was the Thargoid encounter. Sometimes they would ambush you when you were at hyperspace, and that's exactly what we just saw. So going back to here, that's exactly what we saw. 3125. Pilots pulled from which space, attacked by mysterious octagonal spaceships. Witnesses asserted strange vessels were exceptionally fast. They were quite fast, although the frame rate was low. Pilots who survived these experiences, alas, I did not survive, were convinced they had encountered extraterrestrials, named the alien Thargoids. That's what you just saw, okay, 3125. But, so that's Galnet. Now, if you go to the Lave system, for some reason in the Lave system there is a Taurus beacon, and the Taurus beacon in the Lave system talks about the Thargoids and the first encounter with the Thargoids. And I'm just going to pull this up on the screen for you because I went. I'd actually pinched this screenshot from somewhere else, and I can't attribute it because I don't know who did it. But here. First Thargoid contact, okay? And this is my question. Now I'm going to read it out for you because it's going to be a little bit small on the stream. I'll try and let me just try and zap that up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Thargoid first contact 2849 is the first recorded contact between human and Thargoid ships. Hang on a minute. In the galactic cooperative sector, which sort of tallies, okay? We were in galactic cooperative space, as you saw in 3125. Though it was suspected there had been many earlier encounters. Hang on a minute, so this is way earlier. 2849 is like, you know, is almost 250 years earlier. With no human survivors or witnesses. It was a short, hollow clip of part of the encounter where the alien ship briefly passed through the field of view before the human ship managed to successfully jump clear. It required a great deal of magnification, and the blurred image there appeared to be the word Tharg. It's like, hang on a minute, the Thargoids had the word Tharg on the outside of their spaceships? Weird. Though different people could see different things in the combinations of what might be shadow, surface scarring, or a logo, nonetheless, in the absence of another name, it's stuck ever since and been extended to Thargoid by most commentators. And encounters continued for minutes. Oh, hang on, it's been updated. Ah, okay. I've obviously grabbed this from the wrong place. So, and that's interesting. So it's been retconned again since I grabbed this one. Ah, okay. So that's good. So in that case, we have got back to the 3125. Revisionist history. So people are editing the tourist beacon. Retconned or fixed? Well, who knows? Where did the original text come from? That's interesting. Okay. So, and that's good. That's good. So there's consistency. In that case, we can go back to 3125 or something. Who knows? There are things like that that are always happening. So sometimes you get duff information. So anyway, now just to add a little bit of interest into this, the date 2849 is a date that was originally given to the writers, because one of the original writers, a chap by the name of T. James, who wrote a book called Out of the Darkness, official Elite Dangerous novel. He was the only original author to write about the Thargoids, and it's from him we have the only canon description of what the Thargoids actually look like. So there we go. So it's actually interesting. It's been updated in the game over the years, so that's good. So we found that one out. Right, so let me move that over again. Now let's go back then to the Galnet article for a moment. Let me go and find that, because here's the next bit of the puzzle. Is as news of these encounters spread, rumours surfaced that the interdictions might be a response to an earlier human attack. So maybe that's where the 2848 reference comes from. Leaked federal intelligence indicate that colonists in the Veliers system. Okay, where's the Veliers system? Let's go find the Veliers systems. Are those my birds in the background? Yes. They're birds in my garden. Yes, they are. Apologies for that, but I've got to keep the window open because it's blooming hot in here. And I've got loads of lights and the PC running at full back. So yes, so there is some bird song in the background, which is jolly pleasant, which is not supposed to be in a spaceship, but there we go. Velier system. Okay, well that's worth a check, isn't it? Let's go and have a look at the Velier system, because according to that, leaked federal intelligence indicated that colonists in the Velier system had encountered and assaulted an extraterrestrial deputation shortly before the Thargoid interdictions began. So maybe it was our fault. We attacked the Thargoids in the Velier system. So what's in the Velier system? Let's go and find out the Velier system. Okay, Veliers. It's not there. The Velier system does not exist. There's no sign of it. It's been removed from the galaxy map. Was it, or was it never there? Is it a lie? What's the truth? The Velier system does not exist in Elite Dangerous. Now the question is, did it exist before? So let's go and have a look at the previous game. Now it's not in the original Elite, but something strange here is going on, because let me fire up, here it is, the previous Elite game. Oop, there, do that. I need to get the right one. There we go, DOSBox. So there it is. This is the third game. This is where the third. Now we discovered a few oddities between this and Elite Dangerous a few weeks ago, when we discovered that Phobos and Deimos have disappeared in Elite Dangerous around the orbit of Mars. Now in here, this is the third game, and you will notice that if I go to where's the galactic chart? There it is. Right, we're actually looking at it. If I scroll down here, oh look, hello, the Velier system does exist. According to that, it's a K-type orange star. It's anarchic, minimal police protection, but it's not very far away from a system called Gateway, and that's not all that far away from a system called Alios. Now the problem with this galaxy map in the third game is it's not entirely accurate. It's got some places, okay, that are accurate. But the Velier system does not exist in Elite Dangerous. But it does exist 50 years ago, 3250, in this game. Now, this is a very well documented system in the Elite Dangerous lore up until this point. Okay, so prior to the Elite Dangerous game arriving, Velier's system is mentioned several times, and it's even mentioned in Galnet, so it's kind of officially in Elite Dangerous. So let me just close that one down again for a moment. Get rid of this box. Now let's go and have a quick look back at the galactic chart, because you remember that Alioth and Gateway were on the previous map as well. Now Alioth is in Elite Dangerous. It's kind of the core of the Alliance, actually. It's quite an important system from that perspective. Gateway does also exist. It's a place, okay? Now, Velier's doesn't. But if you rotate the map around, there are a few little oddities that come to mind. And when you dig into it further, there are only, and if you look it up on edb.io or any of those kind of places, there are only two systems that even vaguely match Velier's. There is no K-type star in the right place anymore in the Elite Dangerous map. But the closest place that matches most of the description of the Velier's system is Epsilon Indi, which is where we are now. So the question is Epsilon Indi the Velier's star, the star system, or not? It's not entirely clear. We're here, it's the nearest system that has, and this is the key, New Africa in it. There are two places on the Elite Dangerous chart that have a planet called New Africa in them. Okay? And New Africa is a planet that's supposed to exist in the Velier's system. So it's either here or there's somewhere else. I can't remember where it is at the top of my head. But I can't even say it. Epsilon Indi sounds like the right place to me. Now, why is it important? It's because here, according to rumour, according to that Galnet article, this is where potentially humanity fired the first shots against the Thargoids before they became aggressive to us. And we can't confirm any of this, it's speculation. The Galnet article merely says, leaked federal intelligence indicated that colonists in the Velier's system, which we don't know the precise location for, it might be here, had encountered and assaulted an extraterrestrial deputation. So it wasn't just a ship, it was a deputation, potentially. Shortly before the Thargoid interdictions began, suggestions that the Thargoid attacks were a reaction to this attack carried more than a hint of plausibility. And then stuff started to change. Now, then we get weird stuff like this. An anti-Thargoid operation. An anonymous message. The Intergalactic Naval Reserve Arm. Who are they? And developing chemical weapons specifically designed to target Thargoid technology. So there's some interesting speculation going on. Yes, how did they know it was a deputation? Very good question. Was it a peaceful... Well, basically a deputation is normally a... people bringing a message. A deputation is a request. An overture to future discussion. So it's almost like a flag of truce. Although in this case it's not a truce because you haven't had a war yet. So the way that reads is that the Thargoids were approaching humanity with a let's have a chat. We're both spacefaring cultures. And we fired on them. Rather Babylon 5 style, if you've seen the origins of the Babylon 5 Membari Earth War, I think it is. That's quite cool if you've not seen that. So based on that, maybe we are the aggressive species and we fired first on the Thargoids, and the Thargoids have been fighting back as a result. So we'll go into a little bit more detail because something weird's going on. Okay, something weird's going on. So we haven't to make Garibaldi, yes. We haven't pinned down whether that event actually took place. It's mentioned in the lore generally, but obscurely, and it's not sure whether it's been retconned or whether it's just been left as an unknown in the lore. Okay, compare and contrast with what is in the Codex about this. So let's go into the knowledge base, which doesn't contain a vast amount of knowledge, but never mind, eh? Okay, so in here, again, it's wrong. Or right, or different. Okay, Thargoids are a non-human race with a history of hostility towards humanity. Really? Well, maybe we fired the first shots. The first recorded encounter with a Thargoid ship took place in 2849. There's that date again. Okay, so the codex matched up with the original Lave visitor beacon, which has since been updated, and then Galnet comes and says 3125, but in the codex it's back to 2849 or possibly earlier. So we need to, you know, as those tourist beacons get updated, we need to keep track of what they used to say. Okay, so because stuff is being changed now. Is that just Frontier going, oh, I'm just going to update that, and we didn't update everything, and oops, I forgot, which is possible. I don't, you know, it would be nicer though if there's like a sort of weird kind of misinformation campaign going on about the Thargoids, because maybe the powers that be in the Elite Dangerous universe want us to fight the Thargoids. Maybe there's reasons for that. Okay, so humanity clashed with the Thargoids in the 32nd century, but details of the conflict remain scarce for many years. Now that's the 3125 reference. 3125, of course, is the 32nd century, but they don't give us a date here. They don't give us a date. Discovery of abandoned intergalactic naval reserve armed bases in 3303 did much to dispel the fog. Okay, now we need to investigate that. We need to investigate what's INRA and what's going on here. Okay, so all reliable data concerning the Thargoids has been sourced from INRA facilities. So who are INRA? And it's been declassified. So anyway, some controversy remains over the backing and funding of it. I think some controversy. I'm not sure. Controversy, I think, is American. Controversy is British. So yeah, there we are. I've said both. All this sort of stuff is there. Now there's all sorts of other bits about the Thargoids here, and they're all organised into hives and queens and princesses and drones. Apparently they're all female. So that's the thing. They're at least as intelligent as humans. We don't know much about them. How do they communicate? Well, they've got some sort of extrasensory perception, and some kind of electronic signal, which is kind of like a telepathy enhanced, maybe. So they have mouth parts, and they do other bits and pieces as well. So there's lots and lots of stuff there. Psychology, they're bigger. They are carbon based, but their chemistry is based on ammonia rather than water, which means they operate in environments much lower temperature than humans. So vulnerabilities, well, then we talk about something about a mycoid virus. Now we need to get into that in a little bit more detail. The ships they fly, well, they're very different to ours. We know that, we've seen them. They're sort of vaguely organic-y. And the Guardians as well. You know, there's another thing that they work on. Now, the only canon description that we had of the Thargoids was from T. James' book, and I'm just going to read that bit out because it's quite interesting the way they're described. I just need to scroll down. I've got lots of notes on the Thargoids. It's quite a lot of stuff. Oh, where is it? Oh, no, I've lost it. Oh, too much information here. Right, there we go. The only canon description we have: low caliber weapons do no damage to Thargoids, even at point blank range. They have 6 legs and 2 arms, and are strong enough to dismember a human with only their claws. Okay? So that implies somebody's seen a human being dismembered. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so the Thargoids are, you know, insectoid. They, you know, 8 is an important number for them. It's very shadow-like, isn't it? For those of you who know Babylon 5, it's got that sort of vibe. You know, insectoidy, arthropody type creatures who do who are insect-like. I've got a couple of friend requests. I'll just try and accept those while I'm here. This interface is just not designed for so many people, is it? I've gone all the way down the bottom. It's actually at the top. So yeah, so the Thargoids are very much aliens. There we go. I'll add you guys in. There we go. And where do they come from? There have been mentions in previous lore, and I stress previous lore, about a Thargoid home world. And there's various bits and pieces there. Now, what I've got in the game that you saw in my DOS box there, the third game, Frontier First Encounters, there were magazine articles that were published in the game universe for you to read, and you could kind of interact with. Now, in those, there are articles about the Thargoids. So, and I'm going to show you these now. I'm going to stick them on the screen because I've managed to download them. You can go and get them yourselves. I will put a link, actually. Let me go and find a link. So if you want to go and read all the previous lore of the previous game, go here. Just going to look it up. There we go. I don't know whose site this is. I would credit them, but I don't think the site has been maintained for a very, very long time. But I'm going to add that link into the chat so you can go and read them at your leisure. There you go. So that is a download from the third game, the one that precedes Elite Dangerous, of all the in-game stuff, and you can go and then you can go and search it. And here we have one of those logs. So the Thargoids, truth and fiction. This is what you saw in the game. And again here, okay, it's now 350 years since the first reports of Thargoids from the settlers of Molotov village on New Africa, Bellier system. Exactly 50 years since the last mothership was destroyed by INRA pilots flying out of, I have no idea how you say that, Face, maybe Facisi or something. And these articles go into some detail about that. Now, this is the preceding game. Some of this, as you can see, has been used in Elite Dangerous. Some is certainly retconned. They're a non-human sentient species of advanced technological development. Their ships are capable of outflying and outshooting the best technology that either the two galactic powers could produce at the time, and possibly even now. So this is 50 years ago. And they appeared in our universe suddenly with no obvious warning and appeared to disappear in a similar fashion without any apparent reason. So they keep attacking us. It's pronounced fake cake, is it? I didn't know that. And there's more and more stuff, and we'll go down that. But one thing that we've already got is something called INRA, the Intergalactic Naval Reserve Arm. Who are these guys? And what are they doing with the Thargoids? So we may be in the system here where the Thargoids were first attacked by humanity. This may be where it started. And certainly in the original game, and I have the original manual here, as you know. This is the original manual for Elite. And inside this, and they exactly right, Commander Thatch Info, they are an advanced insectoid race. Let me just show you this. This is the entry about the Thargoids. There they are. The ones that you saw me die at. And it says here, Thargoid invasion ships. Thargoids are humankind's deadly enemy. Now this is old Elite, which will have been significantly retconned. And throughout the 8 galaxies, there are at least 50 war zones. Okay. Between humanity and Thargoid, this highly technologically advanced insectoid race is also at war with 17 other space-going life forms. Right, now that's all been retconned. The 17 other space-going life forms have gone, other than the Guardians, which we'll get to in another episode. Thargoid combatants are ruthless in combat. Somewhere in here, and I can't remember quite where, it says that their fear glands have been removed, which sounds very painful, but it's obviously not very frightening. Through most of the Thargoid space fleet is currently engaged by the Galactic Navy in intergalactic space, wherever that is. A few of the smaller battleships make occasional destructor raids into human space, and these ships are extremely fast for their size and always have anti-missile systems. The bounty on Thargoid invasion craft is very high, and Thargoid battle cruisers are believed to be able to hover in witch space and destroy through coming craft. So there we go. So that's how it kind of was positioned in the original Elite manual. So that's a thing. Okay. Now we need to go and discover a little bit about this INRA organisation. Now, fortunately, people have been this way before us, so we can go and find out a little bit more from the game. So let us set course, my friends. We are going to go to the 12 Trianguli system. I'm just going to put that in the chat so that people know where we're going. That's the system we're aiming for. So set your hyperspace coordinates to 12 Trianguli, and we're going on a little trip. This is a little way away. It's not too far, but it's a little way, so we'll talk about stuff on the way. Trianguli, or anguli, I'm not quite sure what it is. There we go. Okay, it's not super distant. Somebody's already figured out that that's where we've got to go. So there we go. It's 165 light years from where we are. I'm setting a course, by the way. Many of you will know this, but I'm setting a course taking out all the stars that you can't refuel at, okay? Because it's a feral way, so hopefully you've got a fuel scoop and you're prepared for a bit of jumping around. For my ship, it is 5 jumps, so that's not bad. I hope for your ship it's not too bad, but that's where we're going. The 12 Trianguli system. So hyperspace home, my friends, and that's where we're off to. I know to put my landing gear up. And get away from the space station, of course. There we go. Going off to wherever that system is. Set your controls for the heart of the sun, yes. So the Thargoids are out there, of course. Now they've been concentrated in the Pleiades. That's where we've encountered them. But it's rumoured that the Thargoids have a homeworld, and we're going to find out a little bit more about, at least the official line about the Thargoids from INRA. We need to find out who INRA are. Now, those of you who played the third game, those of you who are old like me, will know about INRA already, because they were another shadowy group. There are a lot of shadowy groups in the universe of Elite. In fact, virtually everybody is a shadowy group in the universe of Elite. It's I must admit, when I was working on Premonition, and David Braben said, "I'd like you to talk about a shadowy cabal called the Club," and you know, they do this and they do that. Part of me was like, but you know, Elite is quite an anarchic world, a universe. Okay, it is quite a you know, everything's shadowy. There are lots of organisations with ulterior motives. We've already talked about the Dark Wheel. We've talked about the Pilots Federation. We've talked about the Founders, and we've got we've got INRA to add into that mix. They're all shadowy organisations who are sort of sitting behind the scenes and manipulating things for their own ends. And who knows why? And who knows what the truth is? And that's what we're sort of trying to dig out. All we have so far is that rumours of the Thargoids came from the Relay system, which no longer exists in the map, and it may be the Epsilon Indi system, but there's nothing in the Epsilon Indi system other than Meter and Hollow, which is cool for completely different reasons, that talks about the Thargoids at all, and neither does the other system where New Africa is present. So those are the only clues we have as to where that altercation happened, and we don't know whether that altercation actually really happened or not. What we do know from the original game is that Thargoids were attacking human ships, as you saw me try and fight them off. Failed miserably. I have beaten them on stream a couple of times, but those you know, you get ambushed, and you know, it's 3 against 1 or 4 against 1, and it's quite tough even for a hardened ship like the one I was flying there. And so the Thargoids are effectively at war, it would seem, with us in that original Elite game, which is set 175 years before the time we're currently in Elite Dangerous. Now, in the second game, Frontier Elite 2, the Thargoids were almost entirely conspicuous by their absence. They didn't show up. There were apparently no Thargoids in the game at all. There was one small mission at the end which led you into Alliance space, or that kind of area of the map, and there was what appeared to be a Thargoid ship. In the game. And that was it. There was nothing else in the second game. The third game introduced you to these logs and these journals and all these sort of other things, and it introduced you to INRA. Okay. Now, depending on what you did as a player, in the third game, the story could unravel in multiple different ways. You had an opportunity. Basically, INRA was this organisation there, some sort of naval, military, kind of space, space navy type organisation, and you would be invited to deal with do missions on their behalf. And one of the missions was to deliver a virus, a mycoid virus, against the Thargoids. And unbeknownst to you, the mycoid virus would devastate the Thargoids in the game. And the virus attacked not just it was designed to attack their hyperdrive units and make them make their ships useless, basically, so they couldn't jump. Quite how that was developed is not entirely clear, but we'll find out a little bit more about that. I need to jump. Otherwise, I was looking at that thinking nothing's happening. And but you could have an attack of conscience. Okay, you could have an attack of conscience and not and save the Thargoids and do different things. And if you went down that route, the game took a slightly different course, and you ended up being awarded a Thargoid ship, which could hyperspace across vast distances of space. And you ended up being able to fly a Thargoid ship, and that was sort of the end of the game. So there were sort of two endings of the game. Now, it seems in the Elite Dangerous universe, it was the first ending, not the sort of heroic one that kind of came true, at least in part. So right, I'm just going to refuel. Now we need to, once we're here in the not the Veliers, because that doesn't exist. We need to head to. I'm just going to throttle back down in a moment while I remember exactly where we're going. Some of you already know. We need to head for planet 1A. So let's go there. I've got to. I don't do this often. I've got the FSS, haven't I? I'm just going to slow down. Or can I just do it on the? I can do it on the start map. Start map will do. Planet 1A. That one. There we go. So go here. It's always behind me. Have you noticed that? No matter which way you got hyperdicted. No, what, out here? That's a bit weird. Right, let's put the Super Cruise assisty thingy on. There we go. Because that's actually quite handy when I'm talking. Come on, log on. Yep, there we go. There'll be Thargoids. Well, if you do get hyperdicted, don't blame me. It's not my fault. Yeah, this law tour comes with with no guarantees, and any any harm that comes to your ship or to your crew is entirely your own fault. So yeah, so we're heading there. Trianguli A1 is where we're heading. Okay, and we need to drop into orbit there. That's where we're going to be going. So because this is a location, and this was discovered by players a few years ago now. Not responsible by death by Thargoid interdiction. Yeah, that's your own fault. Now, coordinates. Now, on the surface of this planet, here, I'm going to dump this into the chat as well. These are the coordinates you need to aim for. We need to get down on the ground. Okay. Oh, I'm entering orbit. There we go. I need to cancel that. I don't want orbit. Why the autopilot can't take me to a particular coordinate, I'm not sure. I'm not very good at this bit. So we've got to sort of carefully fly around or get into orbit space. I don't know where we're heading on the planet, so this may take me a little while to get down. There we go. Let's get down into orbit because I need the coordinates up. So we're heading down to the surface at those coordinates. There we go. Right, so I've got my latitude and longitude. There we go. I'm I've got to go minus 51, so I'm miles off, not surprisingly. Which way am I heading? Okay, so that's going up and that's going up, so that's quite good. Scan the planet. Oh, will it? Okay, well that's the easy way to do it. Right, okay, that might be easier. Right, scan the planet. Or want a beacon. A beacon would be good. I've forgotten how to scan the damn planet. I'm too close to it now, aren't I? Let me go a bit further away. That's probably worth having. I've got a wing invitation. That's going to be even easier for me, I think, at this point. I'm already in a wing. Right, I might... ready up to keep help with wing beacon. Just land on surface. Okay, so I can't see that wing beacon at the moment. Can I add anybody else to my wing? I can't do it there. That's annoying. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me just pull out of there. I'm going to drop my ship back down. I'm going to fire up the FSS. It might be better to do it. There's the planet. There we go. Okay, look at that. It's really beautiful seeing everybody coming down in frame shift drive. That's quite cool. It is. So Ren's got his beacon on. Awesome. He's at Taylor Keep. So I'm going to just follow him in that case. Where is that? There we go. I've got him. Right, that's where I'm going. So if you can see Commander Ren Sultan, that's the place to go. We're heading for the surface down there. There we go. I've got his wing signal, so let's aim for that. Taylor Keep is where we're going. Planet 1A, and it's 12 Trianguli. Yes, 12 Trianguli is where we're heading. And I'm going to hopefully... I don't even know what the gravity on this world is like. Is this a dangerous one? So yeah, so please do coordinate with each other on wing and locations, because faffing about with the coordinates is a nuisance. DSS and then select it in the contact, says Commander Well. Yes, thanks for the tip there. 0.9 G, so be careful. It's not super high G, but it's not super low either. So do be careful on the way down, my friends. And of course, if you're paying attention to Lord Toy, you also you may need an SRV. Let's see what we can do. Down we go. So I'm approaching this. There we go. Getting close to the drop point. Let's go up a little bit and come down at a slightly steeper angle. The frame shift drives are very, very bright. Very, very bright indeed. So we know the Thargoids are carbon based, but they have an ammonia chemistry. We know that they've got 6 limbs. We know that they're good at dismembering humans. But where they come from and what they actually want with us is unclear. So we're still speculating at this point. What do we know about the Thargoids? I may have just overshot that while I was talking. Yeah, I have. Let me spin around. There we go. It's in that crater there. That's where we're heading. Full speed ahead. So it's actually fairly obvious massive impact point, as you can see here. Very, very, very tidy crater. And then there's a crater inside a crater here. So head on down to the surface here. Almost approaching the drop point. 6 limbs and 2 they take from humans to play with. So 8 limbs, 4 of which are sort of legs, and 2 of which are kind of arms. At least that's the description we have. So here we go, dropping from orbital cruise, instancing, do your thing, boom. I've got Ren's wing signal, can't see anybody else on the scanner yet. So let's see how that goes. So again, just be careful on the approach. The mountain in the crater is a crater. There we go. So everybody head down there, and we'll see what we can see. Taking a little bit of time to get around. Oh, we see something. So various clues about INRA were dropped into Galnet years and years and years ago. They led players to INRA bases throughout space. Okay. And yeah, so yeah, why would these bases be on places without any atmospheres? Very good question. I suspect it's something to do with the fact we can't land on atmospheric planets, but there's no explanation for that in the lore. As to why these bases were here. Right, there we go. Right, still at full thrust. I've still got 64 kilometers to go. That's a bit far out. It's a bit of a shame. Anyway, it'll count down. I'll keep an eye on it. So players were led to these places. Okay, players were led to these places by clues in the Galnet, and people like Canon and various other organisations were able to track them down. And when we arrived at these bases, they were all a bit odd, and they were all a bit strange, and they will be they're odd. We'll find out about them when we get there. We'll be visiting some other ones. So if we have time, but we've got to go somewhere else as well, so we may not. But I wanted to go to here because this is kind of one of the picturesque ones as well. And will give us a little bit of background about who INRA were, and what they were doing. Okay. There we are. Somebody else is joining me. I'm just going to use a little bit of thrust. And let's get down on the surface. So this is the mountain peak, which is in the middle of this crater. And what you'll see as we get closer. Thank you for following, whoever that was. Burly Aussie sometimes. Canon, yay! So Canon were a player group who did a lot of work in deciphering some of the early mysteries. In fact, they were almost too good at it. In the sense that everybody else was sort of struggling to keep up and watching them work it out, and then we watched them on YouTube when they figured it out because nobody else was smart enough to do it. But that's not true. But they were good. Yeah, there's a suspicious shadow there. So in the lee of this mountain, as you can see, where Ren's wing beacon is, and it's how you found this without various different tools is tricky. Now down there we can see something. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to switch because it's a little bit dark down there. So let's switch the lights on. I'll switch night vision on just for the landing. There we go. The actual base is currently hidden in darkness, so do be careful. Do be careful as you're coming in. Put the ultimate carriage down. Always a good call. There's a few other ships on the ground already. Down we come. Let's make sure we're back. Okay, so give yourself space to park around other ships. Quite a few here already. I'm going to see if I can park relatively close to the entrance. A few other ships coming down. It's always good to see all the other players in game. So here we go. I'm going to come forward a little bit. See if I can park about there. Perfect. Yay, I'm down. There we go. So yeah, the good one, Mark one eyeball for finding these things. So this is a strange, mysterious base, which we need to go and investigate, right? So out with your SRVs, out with your SRVs, and we're going to have a look. Why is my SRV working? module problem. I haven't done this right. Why did I switch that back on? Anyway, never mind, there we go. I thought for a moment I brought my SRV with me. That would have been a disaster. Right, so deploy, there we go, it's powered up. Into the SRV we go. Power, that's right, yep. So, there we go. Am I down? Pitch black. Right, okay, so it's quite a spooky planet. Full beam. And lots of other commanders about, which is always good. Who have we got here? Commander Doggenfire. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Right, we're going to go over to the base. Investigate. A few people are settling down. Some nice ships here. The actual hunt for the Inra bases was a great time of the game. Yeah, so it was one of the highlights. So back in the day, we were getting clues in Galnet and in some of the videos actually that Frontier released, the sort of teaser videos that they released. As to the the locations of cool things in the game. Okay, so you get a clue in Galnet, and it would lead you on a little merry quest around the galaxy, looking for things. And this was one of the things that was at the end of those questions. Now, what you can see up there is Inra. Keep clear. And what we've got to do is we've got to it's like the entire thing. Now, some of them may save me a little bit of time and lead me to. There we go. There's a log or something up ahead. Is it in there? Now, again, look at everything here. All the canisters are sort of corroded. Now, things don't normally corrode in space. So there's stuff. Okay. So this base. If I can find where's the actual. Looks like it's in there. So where is it? I haven't been here for years now. Not sure if I can get in there. Let's keep wandering around and see what we can see. There we are, data point. Okay. There we go. So, I need to... No, I don't want combat mode. Right, hang on a minute, I may have to adjust my... data link scanner is... No, that's Rust. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to swap. My keybinds aren't right for this. Right, hang on a minute. No. Fire groups, that's what I want. Right, okay, so let's switch that to 1, because I don't need my guns at the moment. Right, so I need to get to that data point. Come on. See, there's loads of other people trying to do the same thing here. Let me just go down here and turn around and try again. Oop. I'm crunching into people. Yeah, I'm on. Through the gap. There we go. There we go. Right. Why isn't my data point? It's not picking me up. Switching to the turret might be... Yeah. I've forgotten some of this stuff. This is annoying. I don't think I... Yeah, I can't get that angle. Hang on a minute. What's my keybind for my turret? I'll be there. Driving mode switches. Does anyone know what the default is? Targeting turret controls. reset either. What's happened here? Oh, that's annoying. Right. Let's just do that. That one. There we go. Confirm. Yeah, pitch axis. There. Confirm. Right. That's okay. So where is me? Where's the... One to four, they have a timer. U. Okay, let me just try that. Thank you for that. It's been reset. Oh, I find it really hard to find things. I wish there was a search in the keybinds. Does anyone know which setting it's in? I have it unset. Where was it? Mode switches? Is it under driving? Oh, there we go. Toggle this over turret. U. Right, good. Thank you for that. U. U! Yay! Okay, so up. Right, there we go. There. So, that will give us the data point. Okay. We've got to go do the... Oh, we've got to play the game. Okay. Well, I may not it may not be the best use of my time to do all this, but this is something that you have to do, okay? You have to go and find all the turrets. I'm going to go and find this one over here. There we go. There's 4, I think, aren't there? There we go. So let's go and unlock that. Right, there we go. Okay, right, where's the next one? Oh, I want the comms links. Where are the comms links? This is the problem, you've got to... Maybe somebody can lead me on. Where's the next one? The problem is it's very confusing around in this base. So this is... has a time. There are 4 data points to scan. 2 are near the other tower. Okay, hang on. There's one over here. But I'm not. So I'm not going to make this in time, am I? So this is quite gamey. But anyway, there we go. Let's just do another one because we're here. Oh. Telemetry link's broken. Right. Last one is on my left. Didn't make it in time. Well, if you unlock all of these, and don't forget the 3 settlement log updates. Okay, let's go and have a look at those. Let's go and have, yeah, we can play around with those in a bit. Where the settlement logs is actually what I was looking for. Where are the settlement logs? That's actually what I want to find. Because that's what I want you guys to read. So where are they? They are hidden about. I'm just trying to remember where they are. Let's go find them. It's not the data points I want. It's actually the settlement logs. There's a lot of people here. A data point. There's me. No, I can't see them there. There's one over here, says local. Who said that? Yeah, so I'm a bit confused by the geography here. Where are the... that's what I'm looking for. The one near the entrance on the right. Okay, hang on, let's get back in there. Is that near the entrance? Yeah. That's what we're actually after. Is that it in... Where is it in there? Ah. No, I almost had it. Come back. Settlement comms log, there we go. Okay, this is what we actually want. There we go. I went past this right at the beginning. Sorry about that. Let's get this. There we are. Okay, so this is it. Discovered logs. That's not it. Secret. So where's that gone? All our hopes is that's today. So that's the third of 3. So we need to get all of them first. Okay, right. Let's go and have a look. Where are the other settlement logs? That's what I need to find. So let's go and have a look around. Let's grab all 3 because we need to read these in the right order. So is there another one by these? That's what I need to go and find. Where is the other settlement log? There it is. Oh, that is a data point. Where's that settlement? Yeah, it's not very easy to locate these. And they don't show up on a long scan. Let's just keep. There's a data point. No, just seeing data points there. Let's see if we can keep wandering around. We need the other ones. If you see the jumping SRV, it's me. There's one over there. Right, so I can see a jumping SRV in front of me. Hang on, I can see... Ah, right, over here. There's a jumping SRV. Excellent. That's the way to do it. Where is it? I can see it on the scanner. There we are. Brilliant. Okay, so here's the second one. I think... So we've got that, I think. No, it didn't scan. Try again. Right, so scan complete. We now have 2 logs. Right, 2 of 3 and 3 of 3. Where is the last one? Teamwork. This is the way to do it. So right, we need to find the last one. Somebody says follow the white dots on your radar. Yeah, I got that. That's good. One is near the main platform. So where's that? Is that someone's landing? Someone's landing right in here. So let's. Where's the main platform? People are jumping over here. Is that one? Oh, I can see a dot, but I think that's the data tower, isn't it? Or is it? Oh no, you're right. Ah, there we go. That's it there. Fantastic. Right, let's get that one. Brilliant. Well done, everybody. Teamwork. That's how you do it. I couldn't remember where these were. There we go. Right. So we now have. Okay. So what have we got in the game? What's the game going to tell us? Okay. So we have all our hopes. Okay. Right. So we can get. Can we get Gallant to play this? Here we go. Let's see if it will talk to us.
I'll admit, I have my reservations about this Commander Jamison. I looked into his background and apparently he climbed the ranks of the Pilots Federation with unprecedented speed. It's revered by other pilots. But that doesn't mean he's suited to the task. It struck me. Where is someone who can get the payload where it needs to go? The hard work, the development of the microid, has already been done. All Jamison has to do is push a button. The important thing is to play up the whole saving humanity angle. Make him feel like a hero. That should stop him asking too many questions. And if everything goes wrong, we can just pin the blame on him.
Okay, so weird stuff happening here at the base. So INRA has co-opted somebody called Jamison to do something, and the development of the mycoid, which we know to be a virus. Tell the birds to be quiet. Hang on a minute, let me close the window. It's cooled down a bit. They're quite noisy, those birds. Space birds. Don't open the window on your SRV, okay? Kill the Thargoids. Sorry about that. There was a bug. They are really noisy, Close that down. The drama. We my immersion. And all. Whoa, that's too noisy now. Yeah, it's kind of lost the atmosphere there. Because anyway, INRA's up to something. Okay, they've done something. They've co-opted a guy, Jamison, and he's some kind of high combateer. He's revered by other pilots. All we need is someone who can get the payload where it needs to go. The hard work, the development of the mycoid has already been done. Where am I? No, the birds. It's a bit weird. It's actually dark outside here in the UK, and the birds are singing. I'm not quite sure what it is. I lost all the atmosphere. That's why there's no atmosphere on the planet. Anyway, so he sounds like what's happening to this guy. So anyway, so let's find out a bit more. All our hopes number 2. Sorry, the in-game voice is still barely audible. That's probably because I've got it turned down for various other reasons. I've got to balance various things. So, having received the payload, we've repaired some medium-range missiles and loaded the weaponized version of the mycoid. It's a weapon. Jamison will be here in 3 days to prep for the mission, and he's insisted on using his own ship. And he'll have to get close to launch the missile, so it's unlikely he'll be coming back. But if he does survive, there are contingencies in place. Now that sounds extremely threatening. So, final message here at Taylor Colony. Hang on a minute. Let me just adjust the in-game volume because that's not ideal. I've probably turned Elite Dangerous down for reasons in the past. Yeah, there we go. So hang on a minute. This will probably come up a little bit high. Let me know if it's too high. See how that works. It's probably a bit, yeah, there we go, it's a bit more dramatic on the stream. Okay, so All Our Hopes 3.
Welcome, Commander James. Your reputation precedes you. We are extremely grateful you chose to accept this mission. I understand that the purpose of the assignment has been explained to you, but allow me to reiterate. This mission, if executed successfully, could be the end of our war with the Thargoids. Its importance cannot be overstated. The consignment has been loaded onto your ship. We have made some minor modifications to your vessel, but it should not affect the performance or functionality of the weapon. This is an extremely dangerous mission. You will be heading deep into enemy territory. If anything goes wrong, you're on your own. Good luck, Commander. The future of the human race is in your hands. All our hopes and prayers go with you.
So, Commander Jamison, yeah, you're quite right. Okay, so if anybody says it shouldn't affect the performance or efficiency in any way at all, it's obviously lying. So one hopes that Commander Jamison has spotted a trap. So these bases are all abandoned. Okay, this INRA base. Now, INRA has developed some sort of weapon against the Thargoids, weaponized version of a mycoid virus, and the lore of the previous game explains a lot about it. And there are other INRA bases around where you can dig into more of this if you're interested. But basically, we are fighting a war against the Thargoids. It's all been kept hush-hush, okay? All been kept hush-hush. And as a result of that, let me just turn the volume of the in-game down a little bit again. As a result of that, oh, my ship's out of control. That's because I've taken focus away from the screen. It's all good. Right, there we go. As a result of all that, we've possibly, and we don't know for sure, it looks like we attack the Thargoids. We provoke them. The Thargoids have retaliated, and it turns out, surprise, surprise, they are technologically superior than us. They are able to generally beat us. Okay, so we are losing. We've started a war, rather stupidly, potentially. Again, we don't know. And the Thargoids are basically kicking us. Okay, and we're falling back. INRA does their research and finds out that the Thargoid biology is susceptible to attack by a virus. They develop this virus in these clandestine hidden bases, and effectively have it ready and poised to attack the Thargoids. And they've recruited somebody, a Commander Jamison, to deliver said weapon to eradicate the Thargoids. And basically they're saying at the end, it could mean the end of the war with the Thargoids. Okay, so whatever it's going to do is it's the end of the war. And the future of the human race is in your hands. So one guy, desperate mission, save the universe. Okay. Whoever said, someone once said that Elite is not about save the universe storylines. Well, it clearly is, because this is one. How did they develop this mycoid and all that sort of stuff? Now that is revealed by some of the other bases. So if you haven't gone to the other bases, it's worth a trip. Go and look them up. They're easy to find on Wikipedia and stuff now. But go and look up the other INRA bases, because there's quite a cool story about what INRA actually did to develop this. But we're losing the war with the Thargoids. This is sort of last desperate chance stuff. Very kind of Independence Day, kind of Babylon 5e. You know, it's sci-fi. You know, it's that sort of story. But it's quite good, and it's in the game. So this is the last chance to save humanity. And whoever Commander Jamison is, it's his job to go do it. Attack the Thargoids, and INRA has developed a weapon. INRA sent him on his way, and clearly INRA are a bit dodgy too. So what are we going to find? What we need to do is, well, the obvious question now is, who is Commander Jamison, and what did he do? What happened to him? So I can explain Commander Jamison. Now, if you remember, right at the beginning of the stream, I was playing the original Elite. Okay, I'm just going to fire it back up again for a moment, because this is important. And let's get last save up. There we go. Okay. Now, if I do a load game, which I think is the J key. No, it's not. One of these. That one. Notice who I am. Notice who I am. It was at my wedding photo. Yes, it was my wedding photo. For those of you who spotted that briefly. I am actually going to be doing a live stream for my 25th wedding anniversary in a few weeks' time. So I'm sort of prepping for that. I hit the wrong button there. So yes, apologies for that. Nothing to do with the Thargoids, I assure you. But here we can see. Oh, and I've just noticed I've got the wrong. There we go. We can see Save Commander Jamison. Who's he? Who's he? Now, in Elite lore, if I take you back out again, look at what it says at the top. I am Commander Jamison. I am Commander Jamison. Okay. And in Elite lore, now you could rename your commander anything you liked, of course, you know, to personalise it to you. But in the lore, the original pilot of the Elite game is Commander Jamison. Okay, so there we are. That's where Jamison comes from. So who is this guy we're talking about? Is it the same guy or not? We're all Jamison. Okay, all of us are Jamison, Commander Jamison. In the second game and the third game, you get a letter from a lawyer's company called Sue, Cripple and Sneer, which is excellent. And in the beginning of that game, you get a letter from this company, Sue, Cripple and Sneer, which basically says your grandfather has passed away, and he's given you 1,000 credits and a ship and a letter to tell you what to do with it. So in that game, in the Frontier Elite 2 and Frontier First Encounters, you get a letter from your grandfather, who's called Commander Jamison, and it's this guy who you're getting the letter from. So this player in Elite is a Jamison, Commander Jamison. In Frontier Elite 2 and Frontier Elite 3, you are the grandson or granddaughter of Commander Jamison in the lore. Okay, but in between the two, there's obviously another Jamison. So there has to be an intermediate generation, and that Jamison is the guy we've just heard about. So this Jamison, who does this thing with the Thargoids, if you like, is kind of the son or something. It gets a bit confusing, so we'll have a quick look at the family tree in a minute. But Jamison, so here we go. That's where Jamison comes from. So the question is, what happened to Jamison? What happened to Jamison? We're going to go investigate that now. We're running a bit short of time, so let's get our asps in gear once more, and we have got to head to. Some of you already know this and will have looked it up, but we need to go here. Okay, so we're heading for the HIP 12099 system. So get back in your ships, my friends, who are here in this instance with me. Find your ship. No idea where I even parked mine. It's over here somewhere. Get back to your ship, and we're heading for the HIP 1209 system. There's my ship over there, left the lights on. That's always a good idea. So back in your ships, my friends. Hyperspace. Hyperspace ho. That's where we've got to get to. It's dark here, isn't it? Even with the lights on. Crunch. Right. So yeah, I'm not sure if I beam them in this. Is it hip to be square? It certainly is, Dark Heavy 8. Very good 80s reference there from Huey Lewis and the News, isn't it? Right, so off we go. Launch, launch, launch. Right, off we go. So, plot a hyperspace jump. Go a little bit further out. Some of you have already known this, but there we go. This is where we've got to go to. It's a bit further out. It's not too far. Some people are already there. Fabulous. There we go. Don't think it's too many jumps for me. With my trusty Cobra. Okay. Now again, clues to this were all given. Oh, sorry guys, I am going to have to open the window. It's so hot. So I'm just going to introduce the birds again. Apologies for this. I'll close it when we get to the log stage. But it's just I'm melting. I'm melting. So yeah, wouldn't it be good if we could have more wings? But hey, multiplayer games, right? So anyway, so head for the HIP 12099 system. Let's slip the birds of war here. God, that's nice. I'm getting a bit of fresh air. Those birds are not. It's pitch black outside. Why are the birds still singing? I have no idea. But they're quite good, aren't they? So on our way. Now again, in Galnet, clues were given to what happened to John Jamison, Commander Jamison here. What was all going on, and his ultimate fate wasn't known for a long time until something was discovered. So again, now once you are in the HIP system, you want to head for planet 1B. Okay, so planet 1B, just sticking that in the chat. Head for planet 1B, and that's where we're going. Light pollution. No, I mean I've not got bad light pollution here, apart from my lights actually shining out. But it's virtually pitch black out there now, and I must admit actually they seem to be stopping. So maybe that's it. Maybe they're shutting down. So no, I live. I'm fortunate enough to live pretty much on the edge of the country, so it's not light out here at all. I can see one street light, and that's about it. Right, so there we go. Now, Planet 1B, Galaxy Map, all this again. And we need to get my Planet 1B. It's going to be that one there, isn't it? I think, or is that one there? No, it's going to be 1B. There we go, that's where we want to head to. So head there. Pretty sure I got the right one. So there we go. I can see people ahead of me, so that's looking good. The birds want my hat. So yeah, so Commander Jamison has been sent by INRA on a mission against the Thargoids. He has on his ship some weapon. It's a virus-based weapon, mycoid virus, and he's been told he's out there to save humanity, and it's a large-dished attempt. I know I can't cope with all the keyboard bindings. It's outrageous. So I have to go through and reset some of them, but I don't tend to use it all that often outside of doing these things. So. Do we know Commander Jamison was a bloke? No, we don't, actually. Well, actually, hang on a minute. Do we? Do we or do we not? Yeah, well, assuming we'll come across that in a little bit. I believe he is. I believe he is, and I'll explain that when we get there. And actually, someone's already put it in the chat. Said James Jamison appears to be his name. And the voice recordings are male, so we'll see. A move to obtain light of sight to target. Okay, hurry. Can't you do that for me? What's the point of having an autopilot where I have to steer it around obstacles? Is it going to re-engage? Oh, it does. There we go. Okay, so here in the system,
orbital flight engaged.
We come across something quite interesting. We are HIP 120991B. Now, in the lore, the pilot who was flying the Cobra that we all flew in the original Elite game back in 3125 or 1994, depending on how you want to talk about it, is Commander Peter Jamison. He's the original Jamison. As far as the elite lore goes, that's Commander Peter Jamison. The guy we're about to find out about is Commander John Jamison. Someone said James. That's not right. It's John Jamison. Right, so you've entered orbit. Now, does anyone on my wing? Cancel my super cruise thingamajig. There we go. Does anyone in my wing? This will save me a bit of time on the screen. God, I can't see a damn thing. I can barely see the planet. If anybody on my wing can get down there, okay, so some of them are on the route. So that would be really, really good. Thank you very much, Ren. You've been a great help. So Peter Jamison was the elite pilot from the Elite game. So we were Peter in Elite 1. Okay. The pilot we were playing in the second and third game is John Jamison Jr., which obviously implies that there's a John Jamison Sr. Now he's the guy in the middle, and he's the guy who we're going to find out about. So there are 3 generations of Jamison, 2 of which are players, effectively, and one in the middle who is kind of an NPC. So I'm just going to pull out of range of the planet there for a moment. X to beacon is following me, so father son. So yeah, so it's all slightly confusing. We need to get down on the ground. So it's actually at minus 50.4, minus 54.4. Now the landing site here that we're aiming for is a little bit, I've got slightly different coordinates, but we'll get them, but I think it's close enough, and that's correct. So that's where we're aiming for. Planet 1B, that's correct. So I'm just waiting for my wing to arrive. And hopefully lead me down, because they're going to be better at it. I suppose I could... Oh, there's somebody scanning the surface. It's 0.06G, so it's pretty safe. That's good. If somebody can switch their wing beacon on again for me, that would be really, really handy. I'll approach the planet again.
Drive assist on.
I suppose I could try and get in. Ah, wing beacon's on from advance. Excellent. So
Low gravity warning.
why can't I see that? Wing signal advance. There we go. Brilliant. Okay. So hopefully you can find people and follow them in. Because down here on the surface, whoops. Down here on the surface, oh, this is right. Here we go. Can't tell if I'm over the horizon or not. It's really dark. Night vision's no good at the moment. There we go. I can now see again. There is a planet down there. There we go. Oh, that's better. Now this is a spooky place. Okay, this is a spooky place. Okay, so there we are. Tourist beacon 0245. Commander Peter Jamison. There we are. That's the confirmation. So he is the original elite commander, and that's the old elite rankings that they're talking about. Why have I dropped out that far out? Stupid game. Way too far. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry about this. Bad piloting. Yeah, so Peter Jamison is the same guy who was the original pilot. That's where this is all fitting together. I've got blue tunnels. Yeah, I think I was too shallow, and now I'm stuck. I've got a blue tunnel. Hey, there it goes. That's what happened to me during the, well, happened to one of my wingmen in the slow-mo. I hate blue tunnels, it gives me bad vibes. Right, the sky is full of the sky is full of stars. Oh, it's doing it again. Right, okay, let's try that again. I'm just going to have to glide it down. I'm going to try and glide it down flat. There we go. So Peter Jamison, original elite commander. John Jamison is the guy we're going to visit now. Okay. Wait, Elite Dangerous has books on lore. Well, yes. So I wrote 2 of them. You can find details about that on the page here. So if you look up Elite Dangerous novels or books on Amazon, you can find those, and there are snippets of lore. So basically, there were lore Bibles produced when the game was created, and books were written based on those lore Bibles. And I wrote a couple of them, and lots of other authors were involved as well. So some of them are on the Frontier store as well, and you can get them in paperback if you want, physical ones from Amazon. They're all available on there right now. So do check those out if you're interested. So yeah, so the reason I get the I'm dropping out way too early here. It's going to take me ages to fly 238 kilometers. Definitely coming into shallow. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll leave that and then I'll chat, because it allows me to catch up with the chat. So Elite Dangerous definitely has books on lore. Okay, some of the books cover the Thargoids, some of the books cover the Imperials, some of them are just adventure in space. There's all sorts of stuff. A couple of them are comedies actually. Early on in the lore tour, we had Kate Russell on, who wrote mostly Harmers, and she wrote her book was a comedy based around the Slough star system. If you've ever been there. I'm pretty sure it's Peter in the original. I'm pretty sure that's confirmed, and it seems that the character we play in the second and the third book. Now that's also a bit kind of wrong, and I don't think it was checked very carefully here. Yeah, I won't crash. I'll keep an eye on Because 3200, we're the grandson of the original player. Whoops! Ah. There was a lump there. Oops! Didn't even see that coming. Lucky I survived that. Came in nice and flat. Don't crash! I won't crash! Don't do what I just did. I need to be careful here because that's actually inside a crater. That's what's going wrong there. That was. I'm over the horizon. Yeah, I am. What's actually happening here? I'm actually over the horizon. That went very, very badly wrong. So I'm in totally the wrong place. I didn't even look at that. Oops. Anyway, right. So this is all going very badly wrong now. Right. Let me do this again. Back to Super Cruise. Yeah. I was over the horizon. Mad. Right. Let's get this. I'm going to kind of keep it sideways so I can see what's going on. And there's the escape vector. Look, I'm jumping in without being near the escape vector. That's interesting. Right, there we go. Let's try this again. I was over the horizon. So let's keep that to the side. Ah, dear, that was a disaster. So yeah, so lots of lore. There are books about the lore. There are hundreds now of in-game tourist beacons, and one of the things that's worth doing is taking on the passenger missions, because sometimes they take you to interesting places where you'll get snippets of lore, and certainly around a lot of the core systems there are bits of lore that are, you know, potentially quite interesting as well. So there we go. So I've got my wing signal now. That's I'm not doing well here. Right, I'm getting closer. Am I still over the horizon though? Really apologies for the amateurish flying here. Don't normally have this sort of problem. I'm still miles away, literally. Yeah, there we go. Close enough then. That's interesting. Is that a bug that you can kind of not actually quite align with the escape vector? If you're flying sort of sideways, which is what I was doing there. So am I? Right, it's getting better. Okay, so I think I'm now kind of above, but I can't. I'm in the drop zone, but I'm too high above, I think. But anyway, at that point, I can should just be able to head straight down, I think. Right, there we go. Let's just go straight down. There we go. Got the wing signals. Right, I'm coming. Not sure what's going on. So yeah, no, I'm good. It's only 63 kilometers. Let's get down there. Full power to engines. And we're almost here. So head on down here anyway. Head on down. So I'll keep an eye on this one. I don't want to crash this time. It's a bit of a spooky planet. It's covered in mist and weird stuff, which is quite appropriate, really. Let's stick the night vision on. Is there night vision? The historical site is littered with misbehaving SRVs. Yeah, so you've all got there in advance. So we'll have a look and see what we can do. Night vision's not helping with this range yet. Neither the lights really, but I like to keep them on when I'm flying, just because. So thank you very much to Lancel and to Ren Solson for being in the right vicinity. That's excellent. The landing sites here are a little bit. Is using Jamison's crash ship as a rep disrespectful? Kind of, yes, but yeah, it is a game. Let's see if we can get down here. How, again, finding these places originally is tricky. Right, I'm now picking up night vision, so we're almost there. Night vision was a relatively recent thing. Yeah, I kind of did actually do a reenactment there. I almost Jamisoned myself. So, yeah. So, but down here on the surface, as you've probably surmised by now, is a crashed ship. A crashed ship. better than me. It's very dark down there, as you can see. Ah, Commander Igovich there. I did see you in the space station earlier, so I did say hello. There's a few ships down there. We go. So, right, there's a bunch of people down on the ground. So this is a crashed ship. So I think, you know, and this is very significant to the Elite Dangerous lore. Okay, this is very significant to the Elite Dangerous lore. Well, you'll notice there's you'll notice the ship's parked around the perimeter. But in the middle there's a ship there that I can't target. And the reason for that is because it is a crashed vessel. And then people are lighting up the crash site for me, so make it a little bit more atmospheric. This is a Cobra Mach 3. But it's not the same type of Cobra Mach 3 as we fly today. There we go, you can see it there. I'm just going to fly past it briefly. You can see the SLVs driving around it. So it's a crash ship. It's a Cobra Mach 3, a very old vintage. It's not like the Cobra Mach 3s that we fly today. It is a much older design. And you can see on the side there, JJ386. And obviously some evidence of damage on the ship as well. So I'm just going to set down and we'll have a little closer look at the ship. So all I need to do now is find a place where I can land. It's not too far away. There we go. Okay, and then it's back into the SRV. And we can see a few other people about. And once again, here is a crashed Cobra Mark III. And this is from a vintage between the original game and currently where we are now. Notice it's quite similar in overall dimensions, but it is not the same. It's not the same ship. And there's a comms control base here. Now I think I'm right. If we scan these, new data discovered. These are that's just data. I'm actually looking for the logs. Where are the logs? That's comms control again. Intel package received, is that? Right, there we go. Command dog, Jamison. Right, okay, so this is it. This is it. Unscan the ship. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me do that too. So let's just approach the ship from the rear. Now, for those of you who are... Okay, there it is, yeah. Comms control. Maybe the same log. The actual ship itself. Oh, now I've got myself stuck. Oh, that would be good. There we are, the actual Mark III Cobra. So that's worth scanning as well. So get as close to it as we can. Be careful a little bit of the clipping on the. There we go. There we go. I think that's all we need. So let's just sit there. And we've got a nice shot there. Actually, let's just go external for a moment. Because F9. what you can see there, you've got Jamison's ship. That's quite nice though. We've got Jamison's ship and the gas giant just perfectly in the background, which is cool. Just flying through the view, which is cool. So a nice thing. Now let me pull up the volume here, because this is what happened to poor old Commander Jamison. Ship analysis is here. Okay, and that's all it says. It's just noise there actually. I didn't say anything. Designation Cobra Mach 3, registered pilot Commander Jamison. Fair enough. Right, so this is what Commander Jamison said.
Hey there, kiddo. Now, I know I said I'd be coming home soon, but they asked me to do something important. And couldn't say no. I wanted to be there, believe me, but sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And well, this is one of those times. I don't know if that makes much sense to you, but maybe it will do when you're older. Anyway, I thought I'd send you this log. I know it's not the same as being there in person, but it's the best I could do. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not really supposed to talk about my mission, but if I'm going to miss your birthday, the least I can do is give you a good story. Consider yourself sworn to secrecy, soldier, okay? I'm sitting in the cockpit, waiting for the all clear. They want to tinker with her for a while first, but they don't seem to have done any harm. All systems online, everything's looking good. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't feeling just a little jittery. You know, I've fought bugs before, sure, but never more than one at a time. Flying up to one of their hive ships, that's a whole different story. Hell, I didn't know what I'm carrying. Classified, they said. All I know is it's designed to target untyped drives so they won't be able to leave the system. Of course, if it doesn't work, I'm just kicking the hornet's nest. That's why I've set my nav system to jump out as soon as I deploy the payload. You know, can't be too careful. Wish me luck.
And you didn't hear any of that because I had my microphone off. So I've missed one of the logs. There's 4 here, and I need to get either the third or the fourth one, but I'll get that in a moment. That's the first log. So Jamison has been sent. He's sending a message to. He's sending a message to his son, or his daughter, or something. It was amazing, kiddo. Okay, sounds like a son or a daughter. So let's find out what happens next.
That was almost too easy. Threading my way past the perimeter, masked my heat signature so I'd get close to the superstructure. I tell you, I've never seen a hive ship up close before. Doubt many people have. It was amazing, kiddo. Beautiful, really. Makes you realize just how smart they are, how advanced. I admit it. I hesitated for a moment before I hit the button. I had to remind myself it wasn't them I was attacking, just their technology. Let's see if this microwave virus of theirs even works. Oh, man. I watched the payload rocket into the belly of their ship and stuck around just long enough to make sure it hit home. Then I punched the throttle. Whoa! Whew. I'm coming home, kiddo. I'm coming home.
Okay, so that's the second message. Now there's a few very interesting bits here. Hive Ship Okay, so some kind of not you know, it's not called a mothership in Elite Dangerous. It's called a Hive Ship. That's the thing. We haven't seen one of those in the game yet, but it's potentially out there. Other things, you know, you've never seen it so up close before, makes you aware how smart they are, how advanced. Okay, so again, an acknowledgement that the Thargoids are more advanced than we are. Okay, their technology, whatever they're using, is more sophisticated. He hesitates before he hits the button. Okay, cool, good point. But this bit's crucial. I had to remind myself that it wasn't them I was attacking, just their technology. Okay. Jamison believed that the weapon he was carrying was a virus, a weapon that would attack their hyperdrive technology and keep them in the system where they could be attacked. That's what he thought he was doing. That's not what he did. I've got 4 there, so we don't want to skip now. I need to find the third. Can anybody point me to the third comms log? I haven't got all of them.
Well, looks like Drew's stream has gone down. Came up saying there was a access error. So it looks like his stream's gone down. Could be the work of the Thargoids. We'll give it a couple of minutes, see if he comes back.
Right, sorry. Sorry about that, folks. I've got zapped out of existence.
Well, he's back.
Everything. There was we've been warned about storms not too far away, and I think there was a brief flash outside, and then there was darkness inside, and that was that. Boom! My PC did not like that. One of the advantages of having a laptop, but there we go. Anyways, yeah, there's no green flashes in the sky. I think we're good. So I'm going to try and get. Now it has screwed up my Elite Dangerous settings slightly. I'm not quite sure what's happened. I'm not quite sure what condition I'm going to be in when I get back into the game. So, something, yeah, and my resolution's gone screwy as well. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Anyway, so yeah, I'm still back. I'm still here. Let's see if I can get this working again. But anyway, get your hat off to prove it to you. It's me. I am Jamison. We're all Jamison. There's a shadowy cabal trying to suppress the truth. I'm not sure what happened. hopefully it'll settle down in a minute. But there we go. Right. So I think I'm back. But right. Okay. So I'm back in an instance. Whether it's right. What's going on with my screen resolutions here? Come on. Graphics are full screen. Come on. My display has gone. I have no idea why it's done that. It's just reset all my display options as well. It's like, no, it's not helpful at this point. In the game. There we go. Right. Yes, I want to keep that. Right. Hopefully. So I'm afraid I've completely lost my wing. Right, but we're back. I'm back. There we go. It was an EMP strike. I heard somebody who sounded like somebody was hitting the discovery scanner above me, actually, when I was talking, so maybe that overloaded it. Right, so I need to find the other comms. I scanned that one. Where's the last comms beacon that I haven't got? So I don't know who's with me in this instance now. I need to find the other comms log. There's one there. I think I've got that one though. I can see. There's the ship. Where is the other comms log? The one I need, so we can continue the story. We need to finish the story off. There's one there. Does the contacts panel give me anything? I can. can see another one there. The one in. I think I've got this one. Let's just double check. Let's just double check. Let's scan that one anyway. I'm going to scan that one. So it says new data discovered. So let me just check this. Right, I've only got 1, 2, and 4. So where's the third one? See, this is the only bit of the game that does wind me up a bit. Trying to find all the bits. It's not very easy to locate them. So, is there another one that I've missed? Oh, it might be that one there. Literally just behind the rocks. I think I might have missed that on the way through. So let me see if I can get that one. Ah, then you get hung up on bits of scenery. Right, down we go. I've got a feeling I've got the one under the ship. I think it's this one I may have missed. Let's find out. I think. Yeah, there we go. Right, so this is log 3. This is log 3. So again, I'm going to kill my stuff.
The hyperdrive, so we'd be safe again. So we could live without fear. Well, it did a hell of a lot more than that. There are sensors on the payload so I can monitor the reaction and make sure it activated properly. I'm staring at the data now. The weapon is lethal. They knew what it could do. They knew what it could do, and they used it anyway. How many have we killed? Thousands? Millions? God forgive us.
So now we learn that INRA designed a biological weapon that not only targeted the hyperdrives of the Thargoids, but deliberately targeted the Thargoids themselves. So it was an act of mass genocide against the Thargoids. That's what we were effectively doing. And Jamison was the poor guy who had to deliver that, and he didn't know. Jamison didn't know. So the final log. This is his last. This is Jamison's last words.
Got myself a bit of a situation here, kiddo. My guess is that they installed a program in my ship and set it to trigger after it deployed the payload. All my systems are dead. The controls are out. Can't even access the escape pod. And the ship is on a collision course. And there is nothing I can do about it. We need to inspect your ship, Commander. How did I fall for a ruse like that? Oh, God. I'm at least partly to blame. Gotten old, careless. I should have quit years ago. I guess I should have known they were coming back. I mean, the bugs are dangerous, no doubt about it. But, well, this is mass murder we're talking about. You can understand why they want to keep it a secret. I know some men wouldn't want to admit they've killed thousands of sentient beings. I guess the guys back at base think they're doing me a favor by burying me out here in the black. Personally, I'd rather people knew what happened. Even if I didn't come out of it looking too good. I don't have much time. There's a big old planet in my viewport. we'll talk about what I did after I'm gone, the missions I flew, the things I accomplished. There's something I want you to remember. No matter what they say, whatever garlands they hang on my name, whatever they write in my tombstone, you were my greatest achievement. I love you, son.
And there you go. That is the last words of Commander John Jamison, pilot of JJ386, the Cobra Mark III you can see before you. So, poignant stuff. Don't trust shadowy organisations. Don't trust shadowy organisations. He didn't know what he was delivering. He thought it was a weapon that was going to take out their hyperdrives. And it turned out to be a weapon of mass genocide against the Thargoids, which wiped out, we don't know how many. We don't know how many Thargoids were wiped out as a result. What we do know is the Thargoids retreated from human space and were not seen again until very, very recently in the Law of Elite Dangerous, where they have appeared, they have interdicted human ships, and they've been moving around the Pleiades and the Witch Head Nebula. Now, interesting enough, the ship, you would have thought, would have been aimed to crash a little bit more effectively. Okay, the fact that it's buried at a shallow angle, as you can see, kind of implies that it didn't crash quite as hard as INRA would have wanted it to. So maybe he survived. Maybe there's more of the story to come. Or maybe he found a way out, because the ship is wrecked, but it's not atomized. So maybe he found a way to fix it. And it doesn't appear that there's anybody on board. So a bad crash, but maybe a survivable. And there's no body in the chair. So, of course, this was a while ago, so we don't know what happened in the meantime. But what we do know from that is that we, humanity, may have attacked the Thargoids first. We may be the aggressors. We certainly carried out a mass genocide against them, organised by a shadowy cabal, yet another shadowy cabal. INRA, the Intergalactic Naval Reserve Arm. Jamison was chosen to deliver it, and his son, which is kind of us actually in the elite lore, is is sort of the next generation. People are jumping all over my Cobra, very disrespectful of you guys. So there we go. I don't know if I can even get in there with that Cobra stuck. Someone's got their SRV jammed against my ship. Can I sneak in there? Yeah, just about. There we go. To finish off tonight's tour, thank you very much for all your attendance. I'm just going to see if I can get aboard my ship. There we are. Let's just do a quick, for those of you who are in my instance, back aboard your ships, let's do a quick fly past. Respect for Commander John Jamison. He was one of us. Okay, he was one of us, Commander John Jamison. He is a pilot like us who was given a mission. He thought he was doing the right thing, so it would seem, and he was tricked. He was tricked, INRA, this dodgy organisation. Here he is, Commander John Jamison. This dodgy organisation did a mass genocide against the Thargoids. We are the bad guys, okay? In general terms, humanity is the bad guy here. So it would seem. It is that's the story that's in Elite Dangerous about the Thargoids. It appears we were the aggressors. It appears that we started the war with them. We started to lose that war. We came up with a really, dodgy plan to wipe them out, and we did it by means foul. We were not honest about the way we did it. We didn't fight them fair and square. We took them out with an underhand virus by mass genocide, and now they're back in the game. So what are they going to do as a result of all this? Well, that's next. So farewell, Commander Jamison, and right on, Commander. And I will leave you, my friends, for another lore tour. We are back next week for more lore. I'm going to talk again. We're back a little bit next week for those a bit more about some of the lore and the writing that's been going on around the game, and we will see you then. But thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. A little bit about the background story to the Thargoids and some of the characters involved, and we will go on from there. Carry on, Commanders. Be good. Have a great evening, and apologies for the peculiar crack of in the middle as well. We will see you soon. Take care, my friends, and good night.
So there we have it. That's tonight's part 8. It is part 8 of the lore tour. Over and done with. With a little bit of a a stream failure, and but he came back and finished off like every good person should. So at that, we'll wish you all a good night, and hope to see you again next week for part 9 of the lore tour. All very good, and it's swiftly moving on. So thanks for watching, folks. Please like, share, subscribe, leave any comments underneath. To subscribe, hit the logo in the top left, and to see the videos in the Elite Dangerous playlist, hit the logo on the top right. Taddy bye, folks.